In the studio, members of a team who are in the vanguard of promoting peace and the welfare of Nigerians, talking about the Peace Committee, Enugu State Branch. This team is a member of the National Peace Committee. You have them in all states, and I have with me members of the Enugu State chapter. I have in the studio, from my immediate right, I have Reverend Father Dr. Donatus Chukwudi Onuibu. He is the Director, Justice, Development, Peace and Caritas Commission, Enugu Diocese. Reverend Father, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I also have on my far right, Chief Sir Titus Ede. He is the Traditional Prime Minister, Emene Community, and member, Enugu State Peace Committee. Chief, you're welcome.
It's a pleasure.
All right, talking of peace in Nigeria, it is a very, very critical issue, particularly at a time like this. And you people are members of the Enugu State Peace Committee.
Exactly.
And you have a secretariat in Abuja.
That is the secretariat of the National Peace Committee, and we have our own secretariat here in Enugu, in Sidjap.
All right, so tell us about this committee and the Kuka Center, how they are all interwoven.
Okay, thank you, Susan Eze.
Yes.
It's my pleasure to be here, and we want to talk about the Peace Committee in Nigeria. We have the National Peace Committee, founded by Bishop Hassan Kuka and retired General Abdul Salam Abubakar. The Abdul Salam Abubakar is the chairman of the national body, while Hassan Kuka is the secretary of this body. Enugu State happens to be one of the favored states. We were inaugurated about 2.5 years ago, and we are one of the first states to have our own branch of the committee.
Okay.
And we are happy to have that, because eventually after that, about 15 other states have had their own state peace committees inaugurated. Now, the national body is interested in making sure that our people have peace. It's for the welfare of our people. They advocate for peace, and they eventually try to make enabling environments to maintain this peace. Now,
okay, Father, before we come to the mandate of the committee,
okay,
let's understand the makeup of this committee.
Exactly, because this committee is involved in creating peace for every citizen, and all the walks of life or the aspects of the society are involved in our group, in this committee. And I allow Onowu Titus to expatiate more about
exactly,
the
I was
members.
about to ask you the membership of the committee.
In Enugu State, the Peace Committee in Enugu State are made up of about 12 seasoned people. Okay. Among these people are 3 Reverend Fathers, okay, 2 Muslims. Within the other spheres of life, we have women leaders. Women among us are 5, and we have 3 traditional rulers representing the traditional institutions.
Okay. 2
Igwes, and I'm my humble self, traditional prime minister. And we have also a media representative.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, he's with us. He's with us. So that's the makeup.
Okay, well, let me also ask you, since you have people from different backgrounds, how do you people synergize and understand each other? When you have people from the traditional institution and you have Reverend Fathers, you say you have 3 of them, and then you have youths and all that, how do you people?
Muslims.
And Muslim, exactly. And Muslims, so how do you people agree so that you move forward?
Now the piece you are talking about, we understand ourselves as well. So we really have...
So it's not a difficult thing?
It's not at all. It's not a difficult process.
So, Father, I ask, this peace committee, what exactly prompted it? Why this committee? Why do you exist?
Thank you very much for this question. Bishop Hassan Kuka, a well-talented person, after observing the situation in Nigeria, decided to bring the disagreeing factions together. And he has been a person who has tried a lot to bring about peace and understanding between the cultures, between the varieties of religious denominations in Nigeria, bringing them together to understand themselves as one country, as a people, and whose faiths are interwoven. If it is good for Christians in Nigeria, it will also be good for Muslims. He normally says Muslims don't go to different market to buy. So he now called people together, people of worth, people of respect in the nation, beginning with himself and the retired General Abu Bakr. They called about 6 other members who now eventually came together. And their first target or work was to see that the 2015 election was free and fair and peaceful. That's when they signed the first peace accord.
2015?
2015.
Okay.
To make sure that whoever wins will win. And the other person who, in parentheses, loses will accept it in good faith, and eventually join in the ruling process, in the leading process, in making Nigeria a good country. So he now called the different parties, the stakeholders, called them to a discussion, to an interactive session, where they eventually agreed that they will all go for peace. Nobody could say, I don't want peace. If you say that, you're already losing the election. So they all said, we want peace, and because of that, they now started with the peace, sign of the peace accord. That was the first time it was done. And after that, they continued with the government to maintain that peace, and also in a very soft, subtle way, chisel those who are not working with conforming to the dictates of that peace accord, to bring them back to where they started. And with that, now they found out it is important for this peace committee to be spread to the whole nation. They cannot do everything at the national level. Our major thrust has been, because of the way election has been going, the electioneering period, and eventually we have signed the peace accord of the state.
All right. Chief, I ask you, this group, what is the scope of recognition? Is it recognized by the government? Is it registered? Is it a legal organization?
Actually, the scope is that we have been registered nationally, okay, and we have incorporated our services in CAC. So we are really legal and registered in the state.
Is the government involved in your activities?
Yes, the government knows about our stay and our activities.
Okay.
In addition to that,
all right,
we have a letter from the national body addressed to the governor of Enugu State, directly introducing this Enugu Peace Committee to him, and we have gone to him, and he recognizes us. And we have also a letter from the National Electoral Commission, Independent Electoral Commission, introducing us to the INEC of Enugu State, the resident commissioner, the REC. They all have these documents, and we have been working very closely with these government, with the government and all the commissions, and it has really yielded fruit. We could go to INEC and collaborate with them. We collaborate. We have also a letter of recognition which we took to the security apparatus, the army, the police. The police commissioner was directly involved in all our activities.
Okay, you know, I asked that question because I understand that your group is also involved in public policy formulations. You also interface with policy makers.
Yes,
so
yes.
Why is that?
The legislature.
Yeah, exactly. What do you hope to achieve, you know, by interfacing with policy makers?
Thank you very much. That's a very nice question, because our people don't know the importance of maintaining peace. You can create peace, but peace is very fragile. You have to maintain it. And to maintain peace, we must go for the ingredients that make for the maintenance of peace. First of all, you have to create an enabling environment, talk to the people, we do a lot of advocacy visits, discussions, interactive sessions. Even before the sign of any accord, we do interactive sessions among the stakeholders so that they can come to agree, because dialogue brings understanding. Then, apart from this dialogue, we also then eventually see if there is peace, if there should be peace, if you can maintain peace, it must come through the policies. So the policies must be also very friendly to maintenance of peace. You don't make policies that are not very palatable and then will eventually bring disharmony. So we also involve ourselves and advocate with the policymakers, with the lawmakers, and that's why we are actually also collaborating with the House of Assembly. The Speaker was also there during our program. We go to the legislative arm and we discuss with them. So when they make policies, we also interact with them and make very soft suggestions
policies
to them. And they not just making the policies, but eventually following them up. Policy implementation, we also support. All we do is support. We advocate. We do midwifery. We allow people to provide the good they have in themselves without directly doing it ourselves.
You engage in, bringing parties, especially during political dispensations, you bring parties together to sign peace accords. When you mention peace accord, everybody's mind goes to political parties. They are the people we know that usually sign peace accords.
Yes.
Now I want to ask, beyond politicians, there are also groups that engage in squabbles. For instance, we have communal clashes.
Yeah.
We have all sorts of misunderstandings in communities.
Yes.
So I want to ask, Chief, I ask you this first because you're from the traditional institution. Does your group also move away from political scene to interfere in communal clashes, trying to bring communities to sign peace accords or squabbles between families or individuals or communities? Do you also work in these areas to bring about peace?
Exactly. All those ones, it's equally involve our activities.
Okay.
When you talk of peace, peace does not hold any bound. It's cut across
Every
either community,
aspect of the community.
or politics and otherwise. But now we are not deeply involved in communal activities right now because we started. We were only 2.5 years in this state, and our focus mainly is on the political aspects of peace, because politics is where the unpeaceful atmosphere usually being generated.
Yes.
You see? So when we saw, we always make sure that of politics, the peace is really maintained. And when peace is maintained during these political activities,
it will now spread to the other places.
Other places like community and otherwise.
Okay, so we are hopeful that by the time the group gets well seated and fully operational, you can now expand your scope.
Exactly.
All right. So and you want to add to that?
In addition to that, it is not just within our aims and objectives to do that, but we are already engaging in some activities that will lead to that.
Exactly. That was just about my first
exactly.
Next question.
We have training
activities
for
you engage in.
We train the youth on peace measures that lead to peace. We train them on avoidance of violence. We train the youth. We have training for women leaders, trade unions, and eventually we hope to continue to spread that. Our intention is, of course, is that we collaborate with more organizations and with the government. Of course, all this we are doing, the activities, they cost money. Some of the activities we sponsor ourselves, and some of them were sponsored by some of our friends. And for example, 2 or 3 of our major activities have been sponsored by United Nations, the one we did here in Enugu State. And we know that it is very important. We hope to do that. We hope that also we shall have enough supporters, both financially and diplomatically and otherwise, to bring about peace peace in the state, in the society. And it's good that you asked. Without peace in the families, there will be no peace in the society.
Exactly.
Without peace in the society, there will be no peace in the state. So in the communities, if there are peace, if we have peace in the community, then there is peace in the state. And if the state claims to have peace, and 2 or 3 communities are really having war and fighting, it will spill over to everywhere. So it's actually very important. The peace in all these levels are interwoven.
Okay, I would also want to ask, because it's true the group is 2 years old in Enugu State, 2 years plus,
Yes, yes,
How has the acceptance been for you people? Because when you introduce new things, people are not always very receptive. How have you been able to penetrate, especially the rural areas, with your message? Because you're preaching the message of peace. How receptive has the people been about your group and your activities?
Thank you very much.
Have you had resistance from any quarters?
We have not had any resistance. Our people are peaceful people. And when you go to the people, you notice that everybody wants peace. And they are very happy when they see a group that is courageous enough to speak to the people that are involved in the policy making, in the ruling parties, or in the actual service delivery in the society. They are very happy. They want peace. Our people love peace. They have peace in their heart. So we have not actually had any major problems. Where we have had problem is when we meet the people who possibly, one or the other, have been the agents of disharmony or correcting people's mistakes. That's where we have had issues. But with the support of the government, the support of the collaboration of the security agencies, like the other policies, the signing of peace accord was almost championed by the police commission. So when you hear that police commission is involved, the government is involved, the GOC of Etudiv was also there. So you now know that this is a serious issue. You either collaborate and cooperate with the peace committee, or you may have yourself to blame. So eventually, nobody wants to be an enemy of peace. So we've not had actually any visible resistance, but we know that it is not easy for people to accept to do what they should do. So we go by step and very peaceful, like our people in Igbo will say, Iroma kejineja no. So we use very nice, palatable methods to make people
accept your message.
Accept our message and conform.
Okay, I also understand that interfaith dialogue is also part of what you do, and already your team constitutes of a membership from different faiths. So how do you achieve that interfaith dialogue? If I understand interfaith, it means different religions. Dialogue, discussing. So how do you achieve that when you have people from different faiths who may have their own different definitions of peace?
Okay. Let me add to what you have just said. I say add because I would not like to disagree with you.
You're free to disagree with me.
No, I want to add to it
Okay.
that every religion has concept of peace, but peace does not mean anything different anywhere. Peace means peace. And peace also involves justice.
Exactly.
Peace also involves equity. So these are the things, basic principles do not change. They are the same everywhere. So even if a religion has a particular concept of peace, it must go along the line, it must correspond to the basic principles. So and
peace in the
yes,
society.
And we know that sometimes we misplace groups or factions in a particular group or religion for the whole religion. The whole religion preaches peace, but one faction, one may be infatuated by some kind of bigotry or something else, extremism. They will now redefine peace wrongly. But when you come to the universal level of that religion, you see that they have peace imbued in their principles. One of the
Peace
things that
is
has
peace anywhere in the world.
anywhere in the world.
All right, Chief. So, your message to the people: what should people live, get from this our discourse? What do you want people to understand that you are sending out?
Yes. What I want people to understand is that peace embraces other things. Without peace, there's no development. Without peace, there's no progress. So a society embedded with a very good, peaceful atmosphere will encourage development and progress. So I send people to embrace peace in all ramifications, because that will introduce and engender, incorporate development and progress in the society.
All right, Father, your own final words. We know that peace is critical to development.
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell the people what you want them to understand, take away from the committee.
Okay. Just before I give you that last word, last sentence, I want to point out that we had a peace accord signing activity that was very well attended by all the 18 parties of Enugu State on the 11th of February. That was well attended. It was very good. The members from Abuja, from United Nations, from ECOWAS, all attended that. And the police, the army, the government, the legislature, the judiciary, they were all there. And the parties came, and all the parties were represented. However, only about 5 parties did not sign because we didn't allow proxy signing. Okay. All the flag bearers, the gubernatorial candidates, must sign in person. And the chairman of the parties must sign in person. And all the parties signed except about 5 who couldn't sign. And those who...
Let me ask, is there anything you do, assuming those who signed it now go out of the contract to do otherwise?
Even those who didn't sign. If you go out of the contract, we have a branch of this committee that is headed by one of our lawyers,
okay,
Barrister Mrs. Nwanne Kokolo, who is mandated to follow up all the parties that signed that accord and remind them of the content of this accord. Okay. So remind them very softly,
as
of course.
Check.
Very mild reminder, but it's also very solid.
Yeah.
So it is. We know that there is possibility, and we take that to heart. So that our people will eventually come back to enjoy what they have, just like my colleague said, Chief Onowu Ede said. Without peace, you can't even enjoy the wealth you have. You can't even enjoy anything. You can't progress. You can't develop. Everything is stunted. Once there is war, there's destruction. Destruction cannot go with development. So peace is very important. Let us all work for peace, and eventually we shall all be happy with that. Despite our disparities in opinions, in nature, our natural endowments, different as they may be, we can use them together to have a collective peace.
Thank you. So, all in all, even this discussion here is also part of your mandate, preaching peace. Exactly. So, like the Enugu State Peace Committee has said, peace is critical to the development of Enugu State and indeed Nigeria, because in the absence of peace, nothing works. Thank you so much, Father. I've been talking with Reverend Father Dr. Donatus Chukwudi Onuibu. He is the Director, Justice Development, Peace and Caritas Commission, Enugu, and also the Secretary of the Enugu State Peace Committee. Sir, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Madam Susan Eze. God bless you.
And bless
and
you too,
peace
Father.
be with you.
Amen. And then I will also have Chief Sir Titus Ede, the traditional Prime Minister, Emene Community, and a member of the Enugu State Peace Committee. Oh no, we thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
you.
And that does it on this special edition of Issues of the Moment. See us again next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Thank you.